Bumpers are required for all FRC robots, and that's the next step in all of this.
Bumper requirements generally vary from year to year, but I'm just going to go with the requirement that it needs to be at least 6 inches from the edge, fully cover the corners. There's no specific height requirement that you need from the ground, but it needs to be fully supported with metal. So I'm going to start by creating a component called bumpers. And I'm going to use the sweep tool for this. So to do that, you first need to create a profile. I'm going to create an offset plane from here to offset it 6 inches. And then create a sketch on this plane. A bumper is created using 2 pool noodles, and then it's covered with fabric and it's supported with wood. So I'm going to do that in the sketch. Okay, so apparently a pool noodle is 2.5 inches in diameter. And then it's made up of 2 of them. And these are tangent to each other. And then the wood backing it is usually 5 inches and then 0.75 in width. I'm going to co-linear that. And then drop this an inch. I think that's too much, let's go 0.5. And then I'm going to make a line that is going to run here, and then another one down here. Make it tangent. Make this tangent. And then this collinear and this collinear. And then these tangent. And then I'm going to trim this and add one final line going from here to here. And that's going to be the bumper profile. And then we need to make the actual path that it will follow. You can see it follows a path. So, and it needs to be either the rails or the center line. So I'm going to have it go over here, which means I need to create a plane again that's going to be offset, this time by 4.5 inches. Create a sketch on that plane, and then I need to project this. And then I'm going to use the sweep tool, select only this part, and then I'm going to create another sketch over here. I'm going to project these lines. And then create the wood parts. Then I'm going to extrude individually. Then I need to fillet these. and then fillet these. Then I'm going to put an appearance on them to make it easier to differentiate. So even though we have the bumpers CADed, there's no support for them. Right now they're literally just floating in midair. So I'm going to add a piece of stock going across here and then add some holes for the riv nuts. So I mentioned that there are a couple of different ways that you can create stock. I think it was in the first video, the chassis. I'm going to show you another way to do it. It's just going to be one by one. And then I'm going to offset 1.5 millimeters inwards. And then extrude this across. And I'm just going to take a second to name everything here. Then I'm just going to hide the bumpers and the wood just to make things easier to work with. I don't need this sketch either. Oh, okay. So you shouldn't do this, but I'm just going to do it right now. You generally shouldn't do it, but I'm just going to make this. So I accidentally forgot when I was extruding to make it a component, not a body. You're generally not recommended to do this, but if you do that, you can just convert it from a body to a component. The only reason that I did that was because a lot of my other sketches were based off of that, and so it would have caused a huge issue with the timeline. There would have been a bunch of yellows and reds in the timeline. But usually you should just, if you can, delete and make it a component. So I'm going to chamfer this. And then create a sketch on this face. Create a midline going down. And then create 4 holes. And I'm going to extrude these holes. So next I'm going to show this, and then I need to create mounting holes for the bumper itself. And to do that, I'm going to use riv nuts, which are 10 millimeters in diameter. So I'm going to create a sketch on this face. And then I could just use an L bracket. And then I could just mirror this over so I can create a line in construction. And then I need to create probably 2 to go on the stock as well, but I can do that on the previous sketch. So I'm going to finish the sketch and go back here. And then I'm going to mirror all of this over. Or actually, I'm just going to mirror these 2 over this line so that I can then extrude those 4 holes into the stock over here. And then label this. I need to extrude these holes. But first I'm going to mirror this over this line. So this only needs to go through one face of the stock because the riv nut doesn't, like the other hole isn't necessary because we're using a riv nut. And then I'm going to go back and extrude the riv nut holes through these 2. And then we're done. So I'm just going to mirror this over this and then change the name. And this is the Drivebase so far.
As usual, a consolidated version of all of this can be found in the slide deck, and the only thing left now is the e-board.